Slight change of plans. We have a guest speaker. I made the mistake last year of giving a very lengthy introduction for Dr. Reichman, but I learned my lesson. So if you know, you know. And please welcome Dr. Reichman to the podium.
Thank you so much. It's really wonderful to be here. I'm not going to be an interloper here. You have an extraordinary panel. It's supposed for me to be here to listen to the extraordinary Talmidei Chachamim, and really you should feel privileged to listen to these kinds of physicians. They are really ideal role models for what it's like to be frum and what it's like to be a physician. It's not an easy thing. The only thing I wanted to share with you today, very briefly, is that, as Hashgacha would have it, Rabbi Sprung mentioned at the very beginning of his discussion Tuvia HaRofeh, and on your handout you'll see a picture, famous picture from the Sefer of Tuvia HaRofeh. It turned out Tuvia HaRofeh was a graduate of the University of Padua in Italy, and his Sefer was sold for auction this morning at an auction in Yerushalayim. Does anyone want to guess how much it sold for? $14,000. $14,000. I didn't buy it. But I wanted to share with you two things. One is perspective, and also literally right now there's an exhibit in northern Italy, in Padua, which I, Baruch Hashem, had the bliss of helping assist to develop, on the history of Jewish medical students who trained at the University of Padua from the 1500s to the 1800s. Now you sit here and you think it's only in the 20th century, 21st century that Jews really started to practice medicine. It's not true. Jews have been practicing and training in medicine for many, many centuries. They've been learning Torah alongside their medicine for many, many centuries. And here on this handout that you see floating around, I'm not going to share with you too much, but there's some diplomas of some of these graduate students. And just one challenge for you, if you look on this handout, you'll see the name of someone who is registered at the University of Padua. I challenge you to figure out who that person is, and you'll get an extra piece of cake at the collation. So again, I'm not here to be an interloper. It's a tremendous pleasure for me to be here. And the other very important thing I wanted to share with you, this is extremely important. These people are talking about residencies. Many of you are still in medical school or pre-medical school. It is absolutely possible to take off elective time to learn Torah during medical school. In your 4th year of medical school, you're allowed to take electives. You're allowed to take reading electives. So I teach at Einstein. I offer reading electives in medical halacha. And I have dozens and dozens of students. And you don't have to be at Einstein. You can be at any school. Just tell you can either find someone on staff, if there's a person on staff that can mentor you for the elective. I'm personally happy to mentor people. I mentor people from many other schools. And you can learn the curriculum of Rabbi Sprung. I'm not joking. During that month elective, you can learn the curriculum of Rabbi Sprung and in any aspect of medical halacha that you want. So I strongly encourage you to think about that. And also, I strongly emphasize that you appreciate how extraordinary it is to live in the 21st century when you can be at a program like this, where you can have frum people openly practicing medicine, openly teaching medicine, and have the continued relationship of Torah and medicine continue as it has for many, many centuries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Reichman, for sharing your time. I imagine you just came off shift. We're going to unveil our new project, but before we do, I want to go down the line, and if anyone has anything they'd like to share of what their organization is working on, that would also be an opportunity for students of the JPN to, see what the other organizations are offering, to expand themselves, network more, learn more Torah. Now would be a perfect time to kind of share those opportunities before we unveil our new program.
I think I've already said a lot about the organization.
The conference, maybe.
I would encourage anybody who hasn't been to our conference. Rabbi Reichman, would you recommend that they attend?
Extraordinary conference. One of the best. One of the best.
So we're welcome to have you there. We do have poster presentation opportunities as well. And then, we always welcome students. If anybody's, we are just mainly primary care. We do have specialty, but our focus is primary care. But anybody is looking to get exposure and to shadow on a primary care level, that's something that we welcome and we try and accommodate.
Strong. Any words of the base measures that students should be aware of?
I recommend to go on our website, medicalhalacha.org, and to see there's a lot of material there, and to be in touch with the JPN to see the future programs that we do all the time. And if you have any shilas, or like I said before, you want to go to a Sherman Shabbos residency, or make it a Sherman Shabbos residency, I'll be happy to sit with you and to find a way how to find halakhic solutions.
Dr. Noel?
Just wanted to invite everyone to Joma's upcoming medical conference and dinner, which is going to be January 7th, Motzei Shabbos, and Sunday. It's for pre-med students, medical students, physicians, and they call it plus one. All welcome. It's not only for women. For those who are pre-med, we have lots of programming specific for pre-med students and lots of networking opportunities for trainees and physicians, and we'd love to have you.
Thank you so much. And now for the exciting part, we're going to unveil our new project. Right now, circulating are some books. These are samples of a project we're putting together. It's a clinician's guide to Shabbos. We are very thankful to Rabbi Sprung and to Chemed for supporting this project. We have culminated a guide based on the many discussions we've had with various poskim, primarily with Rabbi Sprung, about what we find to be the most obvious issues when it comes to taking a non-Shomer Shabbos residency, if one were to choose to do so, what kind of issues you would encounter, and possible solutions of how to go about doing them. This will be launched together with a podcast, so for those who are not into the reading materials, but rather listen on their way to school, we're going to have our podcast series also discussing these issues. The idea is to raise awareness of these very common issues and the very well-known solutions. So that being said, we made it that it's pocket-sized. It fits nicely in your white coat. If you have extra time on the wards and you're looking for something to read, this is a great piece of material. Inside you'll find some of the solutions we discussed include our air erasable pens. We have the links. We have an online version of this booklet, so you can find that on our website, and you can find all the appropriate links. Just for reference, this is what this pen would look like should one use it. So at 7.5 hours, that first mark done at 6:30 p.m. Don't ask why the last mark is at 2 a.m. That's just a typical medical student schedule. But at 7.5 hours, it's practically completely gone. But at mark 5 at 2 a.m. when this picture was taken, it looks like perfectly normal writing. So if you were to use this pen on morning rounds, you would have this writing for X amount of time, and it would slowly disappear over time. And this is what it would look like, almost 24 hours later, almost completely gone by 24-hour mark. It's practically completely gone, illegible. And so we've had this kind of proved as a possible mechanism of getting around various issues of Kosef on Shabbos. This particular sample that you have in your hands is specific to Kosef, but we will be releasing more and more as time goes on. You can visit our website. For those of you that don't know it exists, it does exist. And you can follow this link here, which we'll be posting on our chat, of a direct link to what our booklet looks like virtually. So in case you didn't receive a copy tonight, or you know someone who couldn't make it here tonight, we have the virtual copy that you can download and read in your own leisure. And thank you so much to everyone who attended, and thank you to all our panelists for sharing all your time.